Finals down, 2 to go. The penultimate race of this weekend, and what a brilliant weekend it's been so far. Because those that are coming back next week for the Rotax Max Euro Trophy, I'm so looking forward to seeing all of you once again, because I'll be back here at the Home of Champions. Right, DD2 Masters. Here's your grid for the final time this weekend on Sunday, August 2nd. Rudy Champion and James Beecroft will be on the front row. Then it is Michael Becker from Germany and Bruno Dos Santos from France. Jim Ringelberg. And, now Ringelberg's just had a problem. Oh, he's broken down on the sighting lap. He's gone to the right-hand side of the kart. There is an issue there. Oh, now, that is not what you want. He would have started P5 on the inside of row 3 alongside Dmitry Ostrovsky. Konrad Bayer starts P7. But Koeman starts 8th. Christoph Adams got a 5-second time penalty post-race 1 earlier on for runoff area. And Ringelberg has managed to refire up the 5.95 on the sighting lap. So that's a bit of a shame for him. We also had a front fairing issue for Tamsin Germain, who drops to P10 on the grid for this time around. Tom Dessert having a 2-place penalty for this grid as a result of pushing under race control direction. He starts in 11th. Alongside will be Carl Klibot, who also dropped had a 5-second time penalty for a front fairing post-race, and he starts P12. Andreas Schindler starts P13 ahead of Ronald Billings, Ian Getz, Tanju Yildiz and Roland Kinch. And good to see that all 17 karts have made it to the grid, despite the fact that Ringelberg did have an issue, and that was on the that was coming out of turn number 10. So obviously the grid itself. Oh, he's put his hand up now. Has he got a problem? Or is he just letting everyone past? He's trying to get into his grid slot there, I think. That is the case, so he will line up on row number 3. Right. Red lights are out. We are racing. As already Tamsin Germain has made a move past Christoph Adams up into P9 as the field now makes its way through into turn 3 for the first time. So at the moment, Rudy Champion leading the way. Michael Becker up into 2nd. James Beecroft, I think, is in 3rd place. Jim Ringelberg might have got up into 4th and goes past the Brit. Slingshots past into T7. Beecroft trying to go towards the inside on turn 8. Ringelberg running a bit wide. Just behind them, I think that might be Bruno Dos Santos running on the Sodi kart chassis. Then Konrad Bayer starting 7th, now up into P6. But Tamsin Germain goes up the inside of the German through into turn number 10. Make that P7. Christoph Adams now will try and chase the German, running with RS competition for the position. More changes for places between the likes of Tom Dessert, Bart Koeman, and up the inside goes Andreas Schindler. Forces Dessert wide, and as a result of that, Koeman nearly goes off the circuit. 11 minutes and 50 seconds plus an additional lap. Champion leads by 2.5 tenths of a second ahead of Michael Becker from Germany. They started to pull away from Jim Ringelberg, who is rounding out the top 3 at the moment. Beecroft 4th. Ostrovsky up into 5th place. Dos Santos in 6th place ahead of Tamsin Germain. Just behind her is Konrad Bayer, as there's more moves happening, and there is there is one kart that is literally... Now, that is Dmitry Ostrovsky. Has the German had a problem? Oh my goodness, right down. Now that might have just been a slight hiccup there, I think, but I'm not too sure. As up the inside of Andreas Schindler went, I think that was, let's just have a look, that was Tom Dessert retaking 10th position. As you can now see that Tom Dessert is far from happy. Now there was something I missed there out of the line of sight of my eyes, and he has dropped down a little bit further down the order, as there is a little bit of a battle between Andreas Schindler and that is Ian Getz from Belgium, as they all filter their way through turn 7. Now into the top 2, make that the top 4 now going through turn number 9 and heading towards 10. Dos Santos has got Germain chasing him down. 10 minutes and 20 seconds on the clock remaining, plus an additional lap. And we've had a time penalty issued. Trying to make out the number there. I'm sure that if there is one, that it will come up on my screen. So I'm wondering if that might have been the 503 or 508. I couldn't quite make it out from my commentary position. So just under 10 minutes remaining of this race. And of the DD2 Masters race weekend here at the BNL Karting Series. Opening round, half a second between Rudy Champion and Michael Becker. Jim Hengelberg completes the top 3, but is being chased by James Beecroft, who last time around went 40 thousandths of a second quicker on that last lap. Gap between the pair of them now 0.3 of a second as they filter their way through. Konrad Bayer now battling it away with Ian Gepps as Bart Koeman and Andreas Schindler are scrapping away over P11 at the moment. And Carl Klibort is now trying to hunt down Christoph Adams for position. That's P7. And in the meantime, let's just see. Tamsin Germain now closing on Bruno Dos Santos. And that is for 5th on the road. Germain is only about 0.2 of a second adrift and could catch the French driver, but is being chased by Christoph Adams, who is also around about 0.2 of a second adrift, or nearly 0.3 of a second adrift of the Brit. So they come through turn number 8. Champion now down through into the right-hand sweeper at 10. And then into the left at 11. Becker from Germany, still rounding out the runner-up, is in the runner-up spot at the moment in second position. Hengelberg, Beecroft, Dos Santos, Germain, Adams, Klebold. Bayer has lost out to Ian Gepps, so Konrad Bayer had a 9th place finish yesterday afternoon in the final. Now rounding out the top 10 at the minute. Andreas Schindler and Tom Dessert battling over what is 11th place on the road. Bart Koeman and Tanju Yildiz. Yildiz started 16th, he's now up into P14 and trying to go for P13. Bit of a disaster for him last time, because he ended up being unsighted as I think it was Tom Dessert that was spun around, and all of a sudden he had a major problem, and Tanju Yildiz had nowhere to go but straight in, and the front bumper literally was thrown asunder. Fastest lap of the race, however, on lap number 5, Christoph Adams. 55.023. And pretty much all of the field, apart from, pretty much all of the field at some point, have recorded a sub 56 second lap time. Carl Klibort, in other words, De Backer, are reigning and defending BNL Karting Series champion in the DD2 Masters. Oh, clash between Dessert and Schindler off of turn 3. Oh, Dessert's weekend has just gone from bad to worse. The pair were trying to go side by side, I think, through turn 3. And Dessert brings up the dust, brings it back onto the circuit, and Schindler goes sideways off of turn 4 on the grass. Oh, dear. Tom Dessert's weekend has well and truly been one he will truly want to forget. So now we head into the second half of this race, as we have just over 6.5 minutes remaining. Plus an additional lap. The gap now between Rudy Champion and Michael Becker extends up to 1.3 seconds. James Beecroft a further nigh on 0.6 of a second adrift. And now Tamsin Germain up into P5 past Bruno Dos Santos. So the Frenchman finally getting passed by the Brit. So Bart Koeman, Tanju Yildiz now complete the top 12. After Andreas Schindler and Tom Dessert now drop to the back of the order. And Dessert is 3.5 seconds off of Schindler, who in turn is 2.8 seconds off of Ronald Billings. But now the battle for second position is starting to get a little bit more interesting now, isn't it? Becker has got Beecroft, Ringelberg. Then you've got Germain. Bruno Dos Santos will now be passed by Christoph Adams through turn 12. 5.5 minutes to go. The lead is pretty much, up the inside goes Beecroft on Becker. Makes the move through turn 2, makes it stick by turn 3. Nicely done there. But this is allowing Ringelberg and Germain to close up on the German in the 5.26. Beecroft runs a bit wide. Side by side between those two. Becker slingshots past up the inside into turn 7. Ringelberg goes through 2 up into P3. So in 2 corners, James Beecroft drops from 2nd to 4th at the drop of a hat. And now Tamsin Germain has an opportunity. But look behind. There's 3 more carts coming to join the festivities. And it's being led by Christoph Adams. Then you've got Bruno Dos Santos. And also the 5.10 of Karl Klebort. 4 minutes and 45 on the clock still, plus an additional lap remaining in this race. And now Beecroft has lost out to Germain. So Germain got past her countryman just right now as they cross the start-finish line. So Germain now getting a really good turn of pace. But James Beecroft has set the fastest lap of the race as Ringelberg's trying to hustle Becker for what is 2nd position on the road. Germain waiting in the wings to see if she can strike whilst the iron is hot. And there we go. Becker loses out 2 positions. Make that 3 as Beecroft sends it from absolutely nowhere on the German through turn 7. Well, that's what you call an opportune moment to strike. And not just one driver took it, 3 in one fell swoop at the same corner. So as a result of that, Michael Becker now drops from 2nd to 5th place. So Ringelberg up into 2nd. Tamsin Germain now has an opportunity to see if there's a chance of getting past Jim Ringelberg in the 5.95 just up ahead. Beecroft in 4th place, as a little bit further behind Michael Becker. I think now, that's Bruno Dos Santos has got past him. So is Christoph Adams. And Tamsin Germain now up into 2nd. Past Jim Ringelberg, who retakes the position back through turn 7. Germain slots back into position into P3. Through the right-hand sweeper. Beecroft trying to go up the inside, side by side between the pair. Beecroft gets his way through. But then Germain will have the advantage now, heading down towards turns 10, 11 and 12. Christoph Adams now factoring into this. Bruno Dos Santos, Karl Klebort, and also the 5.37. Well, you've got Michael Becker in the midst of that, ahead of Karl Klebort for the moment. Plenty of changes here. And then Beecroft trying to look for a gap up the inside through turn 2. Can't get through. Now through 3 and 4. Into 5. And the right at 6. As again, more positional changes. Ringelberg hung out to dry, all nearly an interlock of wheels between him and Tamsin Germain. But Germain gets through. Beecroft gets through. Up into 3rd and 2nd respectively. 2 minutes and 14 plus an additional lap still to go. This is not over yet, and we've still got the grandstand finale still to come with Senior Rotax. Germain trying with all her might to get past James Beecroft for 2nd position. Rudy Champion now goes on to lap number 13. Germain's made the move through on turn 12 on Beecroft. Ringelberg waiting in the wings. Beecroft slingshots past, as does Ringelberg past Germain. So Germain was literally, I think, pretty much defenseless, because as soon as you come out of turn 12, if you get the run on somebody and you get someone behind, that person behind you's got a double toe and you can both slingshot past. However, this, as I said, is not over yet. Really champion in the moment. They say that you're not talking about the leader. Obviously, the leader's doing a pretty good job. Gap at the moment between 1st and 2nd position was 4.738 seconds, as there's a bit more toing and froing, and I think I might have just seen Ian Gepps get past one of the other drivers, and that is Bruno Dos Santos. Michael Becker, who was running as high as 2nd position in this race, having qualified P3 after the pre-final, as Tamsin Germain gets past Jim Ringelberg. Now down to turns 1 and 2. This time around, no one makes a lunge. Adams was looking up the inside of Ringelberg there, but thought, I can't get through that gap, because if I try, I'm going to take myself out and the driver in front of me. And that's what you don't want to do, as Adams goes up the inside, touches wheels with Ringelberg there. Through into 4th place goes the 555. But then it's still, I still feel something's going to happen. I don't know what, I don't know how, I don't know when, but I know for a fact that something is going to happen. 18 seconds on the clock plus an additional lap as Becker up the inside of Dos Santos. Great battle here as the little bump from behind on the 5:37 of Ian Gepps by Carl Klibort. Beecroft leading this train of four carts that are battling over what is a net second position. 13 minutes of elapsed. DD2 Masters for the weekend is done and dusted. Rudy Champion now heads through turn 5 for the final time, but the battle that we really need to concentrate on is this four-way scrap, and it's been an enthralling one so far for DD2 Masters. Leading the four-cart train from Great Britain is James Beecroft. Just behind is Great Britain's Tamsin Germain. Christoph Adams in the 555 wearing his Team Belgium overalls. Goes up the inside. Oh, he touches the back of James Beecroft, sending it up the inside of Tamsin Germain. That compromises Germain as a result of that, and that gives her no real opportunity now to strike hard on a podium, but that has caused a little bit of damage to the front fairing of Christoph Adams' cart as Ian Gepps now gets past Tamsin Germain. Last lap board it is. So now Tamsin Germain has been, as a result of what has just happened with Christoph Adams, I think he went in a bit too hard, as in I think he needed to hit the brakes a little bit earlier than what he did. So that now puts Tamsin Germain in the battle for what is now going to be 5th position, and will have to get past Ian Gepps from Belgium in the 5:37 very, very shortly to try and get something salvaged back out of this race. So down towards turn 10 comes Rudy Champion as Jim Ringelberg now trying to size up Christoph Adams to remove for P3. Rudy Champion in the meantime comes down towards turn number 12. The Frenchman from Piquet's Competition wins the last final here in DD2 Masters at the home of champions. James Beecroft takes second, having started alongside Champion on the front row. Chris Adams takes third. Jim Ringelberg takes fourth ahead of Ian Gepps. Tamsin Germain takes 6th position ahead of Michael Becker from Germany. Carl Klibort, Bruno Dos Santos and Konrad Bayer round out the top 10. Bart Koeman, Roland Kinch, Dimitri Ostrovsky, Tanju Yildiz, Tom Dessert from Belgium, Andreas Schindler from Germany, and Ronald Billings from Great Britain round out the 17 strong. But when it was all said and done, the last race winner this weekend in DD2 Masters was France's Rudy Champion, finishing ahead of James Beecroft, with Christoph Adams provisionally completing the top 3.